The massive alien ship appeared without warning, materializing above New York City in a flash of blue light that lit up the morning sky. Its smooth metallic surface reflected sunlight like a second sun, causing millions to shield their eyes as they stared upward in awe and fear. Inside the United Nations Emergency Council chamber, world leaders watched the main screen with tense expressions. The alien transmission had been simple and direct: submit to Galactic Council authority or face immediate consequences. General Robert Turner stood at the podium, his weathered face showing no emotion as he delivered Earth's response. We respectfully decline. Earth is our home, and we will remain independent. The alien reply came instantly. Your primitive species fails to understand its place. We will demonstrate our power. Military satellites tracked the alien vessel as it moved away from New York, heading toward a smaller target. The ship stopped above Prairie Creek, a quiet farming town in Kansas with a population of just over 5,000. They're positioning for an attack, Turner reported, watching the tactical display. All attempts at further communication have failed. The alien weapon fired. A wave of purple energy cascaded down from their ship, engulfing the entire town. On satellite feeds, the energy field pulsed 3 times before dissipating. Everyone in the UN chamber held their breath, expecting scenes of destruction. Instead, confused reports started pouring in from Prairie Creek. "Sir," a young communications officer called out, "we're getting calls from the town." Everyone's fine. The first video feeds showed crowds of Prairie Creek residents standing in their streets, looking up at the alien ship with mixtures of fear and confusion on their faces. Not a single person was harmed. Buildings remained intact. Even the farm animals were unaffected. Above the town, the alien ship hummed motionless for several minutes. Then it fired again and again. Each time, the purple energy washed over the town like harmless light. In the UN chamber, a scientist rushed to General Turner's side. "Sir, we're analyzing the energy readings. It appears to be some kind of neural disruption field. By all our measurements, it should be shutting down every nervous system in its path. But it's doing nothing," Turner finished, a small smile forming on his face. The alien ship suddenly broadcast again, but this time the message wasn't the confident tone of before. This is impossible. What kind of shielding technology do you possess?" Turner looked at the scientist, who shook his head. "None, sir. Whatever's protecting us, it's not our technology." The general straightened his uniform and stepped back to the podium. "We possess no shielding. It seems your weapons are simply ineffective against humans." There was a long pause before the alien response came. The voice now carried a note of genuine concern. "The council must be informed. This changes everything." The ship vanished as quickly as it had appeared, leaving behind a confused but unharmed town and a room full of stunned world leaders. In Prairie Creek, local farmer Bill Mason stood in his wheat field, looking up at the empty sky. His grandson tugged at his sleeve, asking, "Grandpa, why didn't their weapons hurt us?" Mason shook his head, still trying to process what had happened. "I don't know, Tommy, but I've got a feeling we're about to find out." Back in New York, General Turner was already organizing emergency meetings with world leaders and top scientists. Humanity had just discovered something extraordinary about themselves, something that had clearly shocked their would-be conquerors. As Turner looked out the window at the sky where the alien ship had been, he couldn't help but wonder what other surprises humanity might hold, and what the Galactic Council's next move would be. One thing was certain: Earth's first official contact with alien life hadn't gone anything like anyone had expected, and the galaxy would never be the same. The Galactic Council's science vessel looked nothing like the warship that had threatened Earth. Instead of sleek metal, it was a collection of crystalline spheres connected by transparent tubes. It had arrived 3 days after the failed attack, requesting permission to conduct peaceful research. Inside the vessel's main laboratory, Captain Jack Miller sat calmly as alien devices scanned his body. He had volunteered when the council requested a human test subject, despite his family's concerns. As Earth's first official research volunteer, he was determined to understand why humans were immune to alien weapons. The lead alien scientist, who called himself Blue due to his skin color, studied the readings with all four of his eyes widening. "Impossible," he muttered, running the scan again. "Your nervous system. It's unlike anything we've ever seen." Miller watched the holographic display showing his body's internal structure. "What's so special about it?" "Your entire nervous system exists in a quantum state," Blue explained, using simple terms as requested by the human scientists. "It's as if your ancestors were exposed to some kind of radiation that changed your basic structure." More alien scientists gathered around the displays, their various colored skins creating a rainbow effect in the lab. They pointed at different readings, speaking quickly in their own languages, while the translators struggled to keep up. On Earth, at the United Nations Science Center, Dr. Anna Park received the alien data and gasped. "General Turner, you need to see this," she called out. "The aliens are right. Something in Earth's past changed us at a fundamental level." Turner walked over to her station, where complex diagrams showed human nerve structures compared to alien ones. "Can you explain it simply, Doctor?" "Our nerve signals don't just travel through normal space," she said, pointing to the diagrams. "They partially exist in quantum space. That's why their neural disruptors don't work. They're trying to stop something that isn't fully there." The alien scientists confirmed this discovery an hour later. Their weapons, designed to disrupt normal nervous systems, couldn't affect humans because human nerve signals existed partially outside normal spacetime. Blue approached Miller with what seemed like respect in his four eyes. "Your species, you're naturally quantum shielded. In all our years of space travel, we've never seen anything like it." Miller smiled. "So we're special." "More than special," Blue replied. "You're probably the only species in the galaxy immune to neural weapons." "The Council?" He paused, all four eyes blinking rapidly. "The Council will not be pleased." In orbit above Earth, more Council ships arrived daily. Their weapons useless, they now watched Earth with a mixture of fear and fascination. Some Council members called for using physical weapons instead, while others argued for peaceful contact. General Turner met with world leaders again, sharing the scientific findings. "They're scared," he explained. "They've built their entire defense system around these neural weapons. Now they've found a species that's completely immune. And they have no idea why we're like this," the French president asked. "Their best guess is that Earth's unique radiation patterns over millions of years caused these changes," Turner replied. "But they're still studying it." In the lab, Miller underwent more tests as Blue and his team worked to understand human immunity. Each new discovery seemed to surprise the aliens more. They found that human children had even stronger quantum shielding than adults, and that the effect grew stronger under stress. "Your species," Blue said finally, "is going to change everything. The Council's weapons are useless against you. Their usual methods of control won't work. They'll have to deal with humans as equals." As Miller left the lab that day, he noticed the alien guards watching him differently. No longer with arrogance, but with something that looked very much like fear. Humanity had accidentally revealed itself to be one of the most unique species in the galaxy, and no one, human or alien, knew exactly what that would mean for the future. The Galactic Council called an emergency session. For the first time in its history, it faced a species it couldn't control through force. The age of human isolation was over, and a new chapter in galactic history was about to begin. The Galactic Council chamber was nothing like Admiral Lisa Turner had imagined. Instead of a sterile meeting room, it was a vast garden-like space with floating platforms holding representatives from 1,000 worlds. As Earth's first diplomatic representative, she stood on the newest platform, facing the Council's high board. "You can't seriously expect us to accept humans as equals," the head counselor growled, his red scales flashing with anger. They're barely space-capable, and yet we're immune to your most powerful weapons," Turner replied calmly. She had practiced this moment for weeks, knowing Earth's future depended on these talks. "That seems to worry you quite a bit." Murmurs spread through the chamber. Many species shifted uncomfortably in their seats. The discovery of humanity's immunity had sparked fear throughout the galaxy, and fear often led to bad decisions. On one of the higher platforms, a thin, gray-skinned alien stood up. "Perhaps we should consider more permanent solutions. Physical weapons still work on humans." We cooled. "Try that," Turner interrupted, her voice carrying through the chamber, "and you'll learn something else about humans. We don't respond well to threats." The chamber erupted in angry shouts and worried whispers. Security drones buzzed around nervously, their sensors focused on the human platform. Back on Earth, the United Nations watched the transmission with growing concern. General Turner, Lisa's father, paced in front of the main screen. "They're scared," he said to his advisors. "And scared people make dangerous choices." In the council chamber, a small bug-like alien raised all four hands for attention. "We've received reports that other species are already trying to trade with humans. They want to study this immunity. If humans can teach others to resist our weapons." "Impossible," the head counselor shouted. "No species can copy the quantum state of another." But the damage was done. More representatives stood, some demanding human extinction, others suggesting immediate alliance. The council was splitting apart over the human question. Admiral Turner watched it all, remembering her father's advice. "Let them argue. Their fear of us is our strongest weapon." A new voice cut through the chaos. An ancient council member, skin wrinkled and pale blue, floated his platform forward. "I have studied the old records," he announced. "There is something about Earth, something we've forgotten." The chamber fell silent. Elder members of the council commanded respect, even in times of crisis. "What do you mean, forgotten?" Turner asked. "Earth was marked in our oldest star charts," the elder said slowly. "Marked as forbidden territory. But the reasons were erased from our records." New whispers filled the chamber, but different now. Worried, uncertain. "So humans aren't just immune by accident." Someone called out. "They were made this way." Turner felt the mood of the chamber shifting. Fear of the unknown was replacing fear of humanity itself. She decided to use this moment. "We don't know our own history," she said clearly, "but we know who we are now. We don't want war. We don't want to share our immunity with others. We just want our place in the galaxy." The head counselor's scales had paled to pink. "And if we refuse, then we'll take our place anyway," Turner replied. "But it would be easier for everyone if we worked together." As the session ended, Turner noticed different species approaching her platform. Some offered trade deals. Others wanted defensive alliances. A few just wanted to study humans from a safe distance. Back on her ship, Turner sent a message to Earth. "They're still afraid, but now they're also curious. It's a start." The elder's words about Earth's forgotten history troubled her, though. Someone, long ago, had marked Earth as forbidden territory. Someone had known what humans would become. As her ship prepared to jump home, Turner wondered what other secrets about humanity were hidden in those ancient records, and who had worked so hard to erase them. The ancient library of the Galactic Council wasn't a room full of books. Instead, it was a massive crystal cave system, where data floated in streams of light between towering crystal columns. Here, Elder John Smith worked quietly, his true identity known to no one but himself. After 300 years of living among the Council species, pretending to be one of them through advanced holographic technology, he was finally close to finding the truth about humanity's origins. "Access historical records, Earth quarantine." He spoke to the crystal system. Light swirled around him, forming images of Earth from thousands of years ago. A young council aide, thinking Smith was just another elder researcher, approached quietly. "Sir, you've been studying Earth records for days. Have you found anything useful?" Smith smiled behind his holographic disguise. Actually, yes. Come look at this. The images showed massive ships orbiting ancient Earth, but they weren't council ships. They were far more advanced. The records showed these ships releasing something into Earth's atmosphere, something that changed the planet's radiation patterns. They were called the Builders, Smith explained. They visited Earth 100,000 years ago, when humans were still developing. And they modified us. The aide's eyes widened. Modified. How? They were fighting a war, Smith said, moving through more light streams. A war against weapons that targeted nervous systems. They needed soldiers who could survive those weapons. More images appeared. Early humans being exposed to carefully controlled radiation, their DNA slowly changing over generations. The Builders had planned to create an army immune to their enemies' weapons. But something went wrong, Smith continued. Or maybe something went right in an unexpected way. The humans didn't just become immune. They became something new, something unpredictable. Back on Earth, Admiral Turner received an encrypted message that made her hands shake. She immediately called her father and the other military leaders. "The elder who's been helping us," she announced to the emergency meeting. "He's human. He's been working undercover in the council for centuries, and he's found out the truth about us." The room erupted in questions, but Turner raised her hand for silence. The Builders, an ancient species, created our immunity. They wanted weapons-immune soldiers, but their project didn't go as planned. She showed them the data Smith had sent. Humans developed faster than expected. We became too independent, too creative. The Builders couldn't control us, so they abandoned the project and erased their records. General Turner leaned forward. "So we were meant to be soldiers." "We were meant to be slaves," Admiral Turner corrected. "Instead, we became something they never expected. A truly free species with built-in immunity to their most powerful weapons." In the council library, Smith noticed more security drones appearing. Someone had detected his deep searches into restricted records. His time was running out. "Sir," the aide said nervously, "those records were sealed. We shouldn't be." "They were sealed to hide the truth," Smith said, dropping his holographic disguise. The aide gasped as he saw a human standing there. To hide that humanity wasn't just another species to be controlled. We were created to be warriors, but we chose to be more. Alarms began blaring through the crystal cave. Smith quickly transmitted the last of the data to Earth before security forces arrived. His centuries of undercover work were ending, but he had accomplished his mission. Humanity finally knew the truth. As council guards surrounded him, Smith stood tall, no longer hiding who he was. The secret was out. Humans weren't just accidentally immune to the council's weapons. They had been engineered to be immune to all neural weapons. But instead of becoming the soldiers they were meant to be, they had become something far more dangerous to the council's power. A free and independent species that couldn't be controlled. The galaxy would never be the same, and the real story of humanity's place in it was just beginning. The attack came at dawn. 300 council warships appeared in Earth's orbit, led by hardline council members who refused to accept humans as equals. This time, they didn't bother with neural weapons. Instead, they launched conventional missiles and energy beams at major cities. Commander David West stood on the bridge of Earth's first space defense ship, the Humanity's Shield, watching the incoming attack. "They still don't understand us," he said to his crew. "They think we only have one trick." The council ships expected an easy victory. What they didn't expect was that humanity had been preparing for this moment ever since the first contact. "Launch the quantum shields," West ordered. Across Earth, hidden installations activated. The same quantum field that protected human nervous systems had been adapted into technology. Massive shields flickered to life over cities worldwide, deflecting the alien weapons. In the Council Fleet's command ship, Admiral Red Claw slammed his clawed hand on his chair. Impossible. They've weaponized their immunity. But Earth wasn't just defending. West gave the order that would change the galaxy forever. Launch our ships. From hidden bases on the Moon and Mars, 500 Earth ships rose. They were smaller than Council ships, but incorporated human quantum technology. Council weapons barely scratched their shields. "They've been building ships in secret," Red Claw hissed. "How did we miss this?" The answer came from his science officer. "Sir, they're ships. They're partially quantum shifted, just like their bodies. Our sensors couldn't detect them." West's voice broadcast across all channels. "This is your only warning. Leave Earth space or face the consequences. We don't want war, but we will fight if forced." Red Claw ordered his fleet to attack. Energy beams and missiles crossed space, most passing harmlessly through Earth's quantum-shifted ships. The few hits that landed did little damage against shields based on humanity's natural immunity. Earth's ships answered with their own weapons. They hadn't copied Council technology. They'd made something new. Quantum-enhanced weapons that couldn't be blocked by standard shields. "How?" Red Claw demanded as his ships began falling to the human attacks. "How did they advance so quickly?" The answer came from his own memories. Humans had been studying Council technology since first contact. While the Council argued about what to do with Earth, humanity had been learning, adapting, and preparing. On Earth, General Turner watched the battle from Command Center. "Send in the second wave," he ordered. More ships rose from hidden bases, surrounding the Council fleet. West's ship led the attack, demonstrating warfare that mixed human creativity with their unique quantum advantages. Council ships found their weapons mysteriously missing targets, while human weapons struck with perfect accuracy. "They're retreating," someone shouted on West's bridge. The Council fleet, having lost a third of their ships, was pulling back. Red Claw sent one final message before jumping away. "This isn't over. The Council will never accept such power in human hands." But the galaxy had watched the battle. Hidden observers from other species saw Council ships fleeing from human defenders. The message was clear. Humanity wasn't just immune to neural weapons. They had turned that immunity into a shield for their civilization. In the aftermath, West received reports from across the solar system. Earth's defenses had held. The secret shipyards were intact. Humanity had faced its first major alien attack, and won decisively. "Send word to the Council," General Turner ordered. "Tell them we're still open to peaceful relations, but we won't tolerate any more attacks." As West looked at the retreating Council ships on his screen, he knew the galaxy had changed forever. Humanity hadn't just survived. They had shown they could fight back. And somewhere out there, the descendants of the builders were about to learn that their abandoned experiment had become something far more powerful than they ever intended. Dr. Mary Wilson stared at her laboratory results in amazement. After months of studying human quantum immunity, she had finally done what the Council thought impossible. Found a way to temporarily share human immunity with other species. "Run the test again," she told her team, which included both human and alien scientists. "We need to be absolutely sure." The alien volunteer, a peaceful trader named Greenleaf, sat patiently in the testing chamber. The previous day, he had been completely vulnerable to neural weapons. Now, after receiving Dr. Wilson's treatment, he showed the same quantum signature as humans. "It works," Blue, the alien scientist from their early studies, confirmed. "His nervous system is quantum shifted, just like yours." His 4 eyes blinked rapidly in excitement. Word of the breakthrough spread quickly through the galaxy. Suddenly, every species wanted to talk to Earth. Those who had feared humanity now saw them as potential protectors. Those who had dismissed them now offered trade deals. In the Council chamber, chaos erupted. "They can share their immunity," the head counselor shouted. "This changes everything." Admiral Turner, now Earth's permanent ambassador, stood calmly on her platform. "We're offering this technology to any peaceful species that wants protection. No more will the Council's neural weapons be used to frighten others into submission. You'll destroy the balance of power," Red Claw, demoted after his failed attack, shouted from a lower platform. "No," Turner replied. "We're creating a new balance, one based on cooperation, not fear." Back on Earth, Dr. Wilson explained the process to world leaders. The treatment lasts about 6 months. It's not permanent, and it can't be copied or stolen. Each dose must be made from willing human donors. "So we control who gets protection," General Turner noted, "and they have to keep coming back to us to maintain it." The implications were enormous. Within weeks, ships from across the galaxy arrived at Earth. Species that had never dared oppose the Council now stood tall, protected by human quantum immunity. But not everyone was happy. Hardline Council members saw their powers slipping away. Some threatened war, but their threats meant little now. Too many of their former subjects were now immune to their favorite weapons. In her lab, Dr. Wilson worked with Greenleaf to refine the treatment. "Why help us?" he asked her one day. "Your species could have kept this power for themselves." Wilson smiled. "Because we know what it's like to be threatened by weapons we can't fight. No one should live in fear like that." The Council tried to ban the treatment, but they couldn't stop it from spreading. More species aligned themselves with Earth, forming new alliances. Humanity's influence grew not through force, but through protection and cooperation. Commander West, now leading Earth's growing defense fleet, received reports of Council ships escorting trading vessels to Earth. "They're accepting the new reality," he told his crew. "The age of neural weapons is ending." In secret meetings, even some Council members began requesting the treatment. They could see which way the galaxy was turning, and they wanted to be on the right side of history. Dr. Wilson's discovery had done more than just share immunity. It had changed the very structure of galactic politics. Species that had lived in fear for centuries now stood as equals. The Council's grip on power weakened as more worlds chose alliance with Earth over submission to the old order. As she watched ships from 100 worlds orbit her planet, Dr. Wilson thought about how far humanity had come. From an isolated species discovering their unique immunity to the protectors of galactic freedom, all because they chose to share their power instead of hoarding it. The galaxy was transforming, and humanity was leading the way toward a future where fear would no longer be the primary tool of control. 5 years after humanity shared their immunity technology with the galaxy, Earth had changed beyond recognition. Massive space stations orbited the planet, filled with ships from hundreds of different species. Where once Earth had been isolated, it now stood at the center of a new galactic civilization. In the reformed Galactic Council chamber, now located in Earth's orbit, Ambassador Lisa Turner watched the final votes come in. After years of resistance, the last holdouts in the Council had finally accepted the inevitable. Humanity would join the Council's leadership as equals. "The vote is unanimous," the head counselor announced, his scales now a peaceful blue instead of their former angry red. Earth is now a full member of the High Council, with all rights and responsibilities. Turner remembered how it had all started, with a failed attack on a small Kansas town. Now that same town hosted one of the largest alien medical centers, where Dr. Wilson's immunity treatment was given to thousands of visitors each day. Commander West, now Fleet Admiral, stood beside Turner as she signed the agreement. "Did you ever think we'd end up here?" he asked quietly. "Becoming galactic peacekeepers instead of victims." Turner smiled. "Not in my wildest dreams." The new Galactic Defense Force, led jointly by humans and other species, had replaced the Council's old enforcement fleets. Their ships carried no neural weapons. Instead, they protected trade routes and helped worlds in need. Back on Earth, in the original research lab where it all began, Blue worked alongside Dr. Wilson, teaching a class of mixed species students. Human immunity was just the beginning, he told them, all 4 eyes bright with excitement. "By studying how humans naturally quantum shift, we've discovered new technologies nobody thought possible." He was right. Human quantum technology had revolutionized space travel, communications, and defense. But more importantly, it had changed how species treated each other. Elder Smith, no longer hiding his human identity, had become a respected historian. The builders made a mistake, he told a group of council members. They thought they were creating soldiers. Instead, they created a species that would end the need for soldiers. The old records had been fully restored now. They showed how the builders had fled their own creation, fearful of what humans might become. But humanity had chosen a different path than anyone expected. Not conquerors, not victims, but protectors. In Prairie Creek, Kansas, where it had all started, Farmer Bill Mason watched alien children playing with human kids in his wheat field. Their parents were there for immunity treatments at the medical center. "Grandpa," his grandson Tommy asked, now a teenager, "why did the aliens attack us that first day?" "Because they were afraid," Mason answered. "But we showed them something better than fear. We showed them trust." In orbit, the signing ceremony concluded with a spectacular display of ships from every allied species. Admiral West watched from his flagship's bridge as vessels of all shapes and sizes flew in formation. "Send the message," Turner ordered from the council chamber. Every ship in formation activated their quantum shields, technology shared freely by humanity. The shields linked together, creating a massive protective barrier around Earth. It was a demonstration not of power, but of unity. The head counselor rose one final time. "Let the galaxy know. The age of fear is over. The age of cooperation has begun." As Turner looked down at Earth from the council chamber, she thought about how far they'd come. A single quirk of human biology, meant to make them weapons, had instead made them peacemakers. Their immunity hadn't just protected their bodies, it had protected their humanity. The galaxy had changed forever, and at its heart stood Earth, no longer a hidden backwater, but a shining example of what was possible when power was used not to dominate, but to protect. "Ready to build this new galaxy?" West asked Turner. She nodded, watching the ships dance among the stars. "Together," she said. "That's how we'll do it. Together."